This segment of Face to Face with Wondrous Women and the Wondrous Woman of the Year Awards are brought to you by TLS Graphics. A member of the Green Press Initiative, recycled and environmentally friendly papers are available for any project. We care as much about the environment as you do. And now, Face to Face with Wondrous Women.
Welcome to Face with Wondrous Women. I'm Ruth McCurdy, and I'm here today with my guest, Dr. Jennie Bennett. Jennie has done so many amazing things in her career. She has co-authored math books, which just blows my mind, and she is the founder and director of Reconstruction of a Survivor. Jennie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Ruth, for allowing me to be here today.
Absolutely. You know, when I read your story for the first time, I just got chills because it was just so amazing to me. And I want to learn what happened with you and sort of how that got you on your path. So tell us a little bit about when you realized that you were in some trouble with breast cancer.
Well, I was traveling and speaking at national math conferences, and the important thing that I tell women to do is do not ignore anything. Mm-hmm. And I received a card in the mail saying it's time for mammogram, and I threw it in the trash can because I said, I don't have time.
Right.
And I took off, went to speak, and had some nipple discharge, mm-hmm. and said something's not right because it was there the next day. Called my surgeon long distance, and he said, don't worry about it, we'll do the test when you get back. Mm-hmm. And he still couldn't find anything definitive, and then he said, let's just take out tissue. Mm-hmm. And that's when he found the breast cancer.
You know, Jennie, you mentioned you were on the road when you had spoken to your doctor, and then you had some testing done and that sort of thing. What was going through your mind while you were waiting to get the results?
Well, my father's sister had breast cancer, but I never envisioned that I would have breast cancer. Right. That was the furthest thing from my mind until he said the words, and he hesitated because we grew up together. Oh. You have breast cancer. And immediately I just knew I was dying. Yeah. I was going to die, and who was going to raise my child, who was a teenager at the time. So it was earth-shaking.
I bet it was.
Earth-shaking.
You know, I have friends that have had breast cancer, and it not only is scary from your life perspective, but it also seems to affect how you feel about yourself as a woman. Did you experience that as well?
Not initially. It did not affect me in terms of being a woman until after the surgery, after I realized that the breast that God gave me was no longer there. Right. And that his perfection was no longer there. Right. That I had something that man kind of helped concoct and make up and put together, and I said, okay, so I had to live with that. Yeah. And that was the hardest part at first. Yeah, I bet. Struggling with that, I went to a support group session, which really didn't benefit me at the time because they were wanting to know where was I traveling next, what was I speaking on, and what have you. So I thought something's got to give with this. Right. There has to be some help for women who struggle with the notion of, I've got this breast cancer, I've got this disease, I've been diagnosed, I've been treated, now what? What's the next step? Right. And so then you began Reconstruction of a Survivor? No, I did not initially. Okay. All right, so tell me about that journey. I began helping other women diagnosed with breast cancer to understand their diagnosis, to understand treatment options, and to really understand how do you take charge with even prayer, and how do you pray your way through this. So, because that's what really helped me the most. And so I helped them to understand the physical, emotional, and spiritual aspects of a diagnosis. The physicians only deal with the physical aspect, but they don't have time to address the emotional nor the spiritual. And when given to our own thoughts, our thoughts run rampant. I know with anything that's scary, we just create scenarios that are horrific and scary. And so when you have someone like yourself, it sounds like that was a huge help to women going through, at least having someone that's been through it and knows what she's talking about. And I had to help their spouses understand as well, because oftentimes men just take what they say, but they were walking the walk as well, along beside their wives. So that was very helpful. And so after years of doing that and helping women, I began to, in fact, I went to a life coach, and she said, have you thought about and prayed about doing more? And I prayed about it, and God said, oh no, you do more. What more do you want me to do? Because you thought you had it all going on. I thought I had it going on. That's right. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I want to hear some more about your story.
We'll be back in just a few moments with Face to Face with Ruth McCurdy, your host, and our guest, Dr. Jennie Bennett.
This segment of Face to Face with Wondrous Women and the Wondrous Woman of the Year Awards are brought to you by TLS Graphics. A member of the Green Press Initiative, recycled and environmentally friendly papers are available for any project. We care as much about the environment as you do.
Hi, I'm Ruth McCurdy, and I'm the founder of the Wondrous Woman of the Year Awards. This award is particularly important to me because I've had wonderful women in my life that have made a huge difference in the woman that I am today. This award is about recognizing ordinary women who do extraordinary things every day in their communities and in the lives of others. And they're not the folks that are in front of the camera, and they're not typically in a newspaper. They're just women that go about doing what they love, and as a result, lives are changed having known them. I'm sure you've got someone in your life that you can think about, that you'd love to nominate. So take a few moments, think about her, and then write what you love about what she does and what a difference that she makes every day. What an honor and a surprise that will be for her.
And now back to Face with Wondrous Women.
Welcome back to Face with Wondrous Women with my guest today, Dr. Jennie Bennett. Jennie, I'm so excited to have you on the show, and I'm really excited about learning more about the reconstruction of a survivor. I know that you're passionate about this, and it's part of your purpose. So kind of give us an idea of what women can expect if they find themselves in that situation, and your folks can help them.
Well, let me just mention this, that we do have support group sessions around not just Houston, but in League City, Sugar Land, and in spring. So we're starting some things in spring at several facilities, and they can find that information on the website. Okay. However, we're expanding to, we do have a male at one of our locations who's been diagnosed with breast cancer. Really? So with that being said, it's inclusive of men, but we're expanding beyond just breast cancer. Mm-hmm. So we have several congregations who have decided that they want to include all cancers. Right. All cancers for men and women at one location, and another wants to do just all women, all cancers. Right. So that's the main thing. And I think the other important thing is that we also do breast health education through video. And we have a 28-minute video, which we call Take 30, to save your life. And we've been gone to do some things for the homeless.
Well, you'd mentioned that, and I tell you what, I think the thing that you said to me that really stuck in my mind was that no one is taking care of the homeless in this regard. But you were telling me about one of the women that you've been able to help recently, and so sort of give me an idea of what that's been like for you. Yeah,
well, we receive funding, of course. We have Coleman funding for some of our sessions, but with the educational piece, we do have some funding from Pink Ribbons Project. But the main thing is that has allowed us to launch an endeavor to help women who have never had a mammogram, who never see a physician, and especially the homeless, because that's a population that we see on the streets, we see them begging, but we don't see that they have other needs beyond that. The cancer affects them as well as us. And so my thing was through prayer, and God revealed to me, you've got to touch the homeless population. And so that's how I began touching the homeless. One lady was in the shelter. She'd previously been homeless and was 60 years old, working for the shelter, had never had a mammogram. Wow. And so through the gracious generosity of a friend whose son raised money as an Eagle Scout, then also the physician who did a clinical breast exam, because you have to have that in order to have a mammogram. You can't have it without it. Right. So that allowed us to get some of the clinicals done through this physician, and so they could get a free mammogram.
That's wonderful. And you know, you mentioned the Eagle Scout. When you begin something like this, people just want to get involved, don't they? And I would have never thought of an Eagle Scout out there raising money so that someone can have that exam that they need. And isn't it amazing how it just keeps spreading and everyone getting involved and making a difference?
And you know, I would have thought that an Eagle Scout would want a project like this, and to actually put on a health fair and to raise the funds and to donate the funds to us, because it really didn't benefit just us. I don't receive a salary, but I do this because of the passion that I have to help.
Exactly.
And I get that legacy from my parents and my grandparents and other family members who have the notion to help.
That's wonderful.
And so because of that, I believe in helping where we can and where we're needed.
You know, you never thought you were going to be going down this path with what you were doing, did you?
I did not.
But you've had this passion, as you mentioned earlier, to really help others. What advice would you give women that are watching us about following through on their passions?
I would advise women who have a passion for anything to follow through. One of our ladies could not afford chemotherapy treatment, so her passion is baking, and she bakes from scratch. So she bakes pies and cakes from scratch. She's following her passion and continuing it on, even though she's not in chemotherapy treatment right now. But she had a passion that she needed to have something that would help cure her, and that's what she's doing.
And sometimes sometimes it's important to kind of cure yourself from the inside out, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and it sounds like that's what she's been doing. That's wonderful.
She does a great job.
We have to find out how to get some of those cakes and pies. It sounds great. Great. Well, thank you, Jenny, for being our guest today, and thank you for joining us on Face to Face with Wondrous Women. If you think of someone in your life that has made a difference to you, nominate them for Wondrous Woman Award. Just simply go to wondroussawards.tv and tell us all about her. We can't wait to meet her and include her amongst the Wondrous Women.
This segment of Face to Face with Wondrous Women and the Wondrous Woman of the Year Awards are brought to you by TLS Graphics. A member of the Green Press Initiative, recycled and environmentally friendly papers are available for any project. We care as much about the environment as you do.